Well, I've had to wait 5 days to record this video, but I'm hoping it's going to be worth it because today, within 5 years of starting our career, we are taking part in a continental final. It's the Asian Champions League final with Kashima Antlers, and today we're up against one of the big boys from Saudi. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 41 of the head coach with me, Daniel. We are back today for what is a surprise game by this head coach standards because in previous years we were still in non-league football. We were still having a torturous time in Wales, but this time around we're in an Asian Champions League final and against one of the big money boys in Saudi with a fair few recognisable names. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on across both legs today, as we could be ready to win a major competition, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. What's more important though, after in the last episode being at risk of the sack due to a poor start to our league season, a reminder our board expectation was to finish in the top two, and the transfer window didn't really help with that. What has happened though is that semi-final victory against Vissel Kobe, that brilliant performance in the second leg, it's inspired us. We've been almost unbeatable since, whether we play our first team, whether we have to rotate, we've found a way and we've been brilliant in doing so. Kato is unregistered today. He is the player that signed late in the window. He is our top scorer and he can't feature. We're also without Wader and Tabakovic, who of course got injured in the semi-final. Al-Ahli are without John Stones because they've got so many great foreign players and Jose Gaia is suspended. So two of the big boys are missing out. Let's go and have a look though at what's been happening for us because I said it had inspired us beating Vissel Kobe and my word has it. You saw the big win against Kawasaki as well, the red card helping us out on that occasion. We then backed it up against Kashiwa with a big 5-2 away win with 2 goals for Kato and Suzuki and 1 for Brian Hainan. We won 3-0 at home to the club that rejected us a couple of years ago. Arawa Reds beaten comfortably with Kato's early brace and Suzuki getting one as well. And against FC Tokyo, we had to rotate a bit for this final. It was only 3 days ago, and I feel like I made the right decision, especially when Filip Kostic came off the bench to roll in the winning penalty. So today we're going to get through the 2 legs of the Al-Ahli game. We'll play Sapporo off camera because we're just going to rotate and see what happens. But for now, we're going straight into the first leg. There's nothing more important. Ultimately, we are going to probably look to move on after this final either way, because if we win it, we've done the greatest thing in Asian football. And if we don't win it, we've got a squad that's only going to go backwards from here. Don't forget, we're not even in the Asian Champions League next time around. So let's go and get through the tactical meeting. Wonder if that changes if we win it, actually. There's a good question for the comment section if you've managed in Japan before. Let's get through the tactical meeting. Let's get through to the team selection. You may recognise Ruben Neves, Heung-min Son, for example. Virgil van Dijk, Bilal the goalkeeper. It's a good spine of a team, isn't it? Yes, it's experienced now, but the likes of Neves, still only 31, they're definitely going to have an influence on this game. The first leg at our stadium is sold out, so let's see the team I've put together. And I have taken a few risks because although he's been in good form, Suzuki has been brilliant in the league and I want him and Kato to be able to play together at the weekend. So that means as well as the poorly performing Ishida coming back in, Sakaragawa returns from injury for a big one. He's great in the air and I feel even though Van Dijk's in, it could be our best weapon. So he's the man we're going to go for from the start. We're also going for Asada at the back because of the Wader injury. The only other realistic option was probably Toyoda. Slightly better in the tackle, but overall isn't a better player, which is a shame. Tabakovic hasn't quite made it, but should be on the bench for the second leg. And the one other big decision I've made, Brian Hainan is dropped for this one, partly because I need a box-to-box midfielder for the weekend, but also because Yasuda is developing and doing well. We had a couple of incidents with him earlier in the season where he was spotted leaving nightclubs late, missed a match day as well. But he's bounced back, he's gone into a mentoring group and he's been training really well. So I've got to give him his chance to shine and maybe that lesson, if you do well, you will get opportunities and hopefully he'll grab it with open arms. Let's have a look at the 11 in full then. It is Bergson mercifully in goal, Ademfal, Watanabe and Asada the back three. Leader in great form at left wing back with Handa over on the right. He's the only man who can get suspended for the second leg with a booking. We've got Zaruki, Yasuda and Araki the midfield three, with the target man Sakuragawa back from injury alongside Ashida up front. Into the first leg of the Asian Champions League final. Let's see how we compete on the biggest stage we've ever played in. Well, we know that this is a pretty strong side. Not only have they got the 4 superstars in the spine of the team, they've also got players from a Saudi side that got out of their group in the last World Cup. So we know this is not going to be easy. Premier League stars through the middle of the team and a lot of quality for us to deal with. So let's get through the tunnel interview. Having got no reaction from the lads in a dressing room, we're in great form. They are probably in similar, having got all the way here. So let's see how we get on in the final. Some big names on the team sheet today, but will Al-Ahli be able to put us away, or can we at least get a competitive score to take it to the second leg? Ah, well, of course it is. 20 minutes gone and our best player gets injured. Ramiz Zaruki is out. I rested him at the midweek so he didn't have the problem. Now he's going to be out and Brian Haynan will come on as the box-to-box. But statistically, the best player at the football club is injured within 20 minutes. You just can't ride it, can you? We've now got defending to do from a set piece. It's already starting to feel like it won't be ours. We know Neves has got a strike on him. He's hit the woodwork and it's cleared away by Watanabe. We're also having to keep an eye on the J1 League scores because, of course, the top contenders in a title race are playing. But what a ridiculous day to have your best player injured. We're already without one of our best 2 defenders. Oh, God. We're without both of our starting strikers. And now Riku Handa's got injured as well. These are 2 players that were rested in the last game. Zaruki came off the bench for 15 minutes. Handa was out of the squad. I don't get it. We've done everything right. We've rested them. We've lightened the training completely. That makes it 5 in the first team for the Champions League final now. And we've already lost 2 sub breaks, so we're going to have to be careful with the changes we make. At this point, I'd probably take a 0-0 and just staying in the tie. We know Sakuragawa's not going to do much more than an hour, but then I've got to make all the other subs there and gamble, haven't I? So, with just over 65 gone, I think we're going to go for it. As it's Al-Ahli on the attack with a Dempfau intercepting. He finds Hayden, who turns in midfield. Chance to carry it forward, but forced inside to Matoma. Good ball for Ashida, who's a bit out of form. Finds Hayden and Matoma again. Back into a Dempfau. Through ball to Sakuragawa. 2 making a run, but he goes all the way back to Asada. Out to Leader on the left as the voice is starting to go. Leader to the byline. Options behind him. Yasuda's 1. On the edge to Hayden. Back to Yasuda. Hayden to Mitoma. Someone shoot. Mitoma does, and it's wide. Good football from us, but unfortunately, there's no final product with it. So with 20 to go, we're going to take Sakuragawa off for Suzuki. So often the hero, including both games in the last episode where he got us through to this final. We're going to take Agawa on for Araki, who set up that winning goal against Vissel Kobe. And Leader on a yellow, replaced by Kostic, with 20 more minutes remaining. It's not been a great game. It's been cagey, and I know ours has been restricted by injuries to key creative players, but it does look like both teams are worried about losing it in the first leg, more than they are about winning it. With 5 to go, I would take this outcome. It gives us a chance in the second leg. We've kept superstars quiet, but can it get better? Because Kostic has a free kick, a Dempfau's header just over. And the fact that's one of the key chances of the match tells you how poor it's been. 3 shots on target across 95 minutes, but we're in the cup final going into the second leg. The Asian Champions League is still up for grabs. So let's get through the Sapporo game. We'll be back in a minute for the second leg. Well, here we are then. It's one bit of good news and one bad news from the injuries last week. Zaruki only out a day, featured in midweek and is now fit. Unfortunately though, the Handa injury, a right wing back, is a month long. He's not going to be available. Wade is still not fit, Tabakovic not really fit, and to be honest, the same for Sakuragawa too. But let's have a quick look at what happened in midweek, where we were frustrated, to be honest. It's another clean sheet, which is great news, but it was thanks to a Bergson penalty save. We had a game where we dominated in large parts, but our out-of-form strikers just couldn't take chances. And then a controversial late penalty given to the visitors. I thought, here we go. But Bergson stepped up, 5 clean sheets in 6. And if we get one today, there's a good chance we'll be Asian champions. Let's see how we get on in this one, because this is a huge moment. Can we give Al-Ahli a game? Will they be strong at home? And do they have Gaia back as well? Because it could be 5 stars rather than 4 from European and Asian football that feature today. Let's have a look at the team we can put out today as we fall 9 points behind the leaders in a J1 league, albeit with 3 games in hand. Have we got the squad to compete and catch up? I don't know. Can we avoid 2 injuries in the first half of this one? That's the big question. Gaia is back, Son is in. No Ruben Neves though. He must be suspended. So it's 1 in, 1 out when it comes to the stars there. Let's get our 11 picked. It's going to be all change. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, here we go. And I was about to make a big call up front, but I've had to reverse it because if we do end up going to penalties today, I need the stronger takers on come the end. But for now, this is the 11 we've gone for. And from the first leg, I think there's just the one change, which is enforced due to that injury. Handa is out. Mitoma is in. He is now the only fit right wing back at the club. And I'm not sure that we're going to be able to compete too well. But if the worst comes to the worst, we can bring on a tired Kostic or a Matt Swow who can't really play left wing back and switch leader over to the right instead. But you're familiar with the team as we go into the second leg. It's going to be a big game. I'm delighted they haven't got Neves because he's a good set piece taker as well. But Gaia coming back in is a very strong option. And away from home, this could get quite tricky. Let's have a look at the team talk and get into that dressing room. Let's go and show how well we can do. The unbeaten run continues despite the draw in midweek, and a run of clean sheets is essential. Is this going to be the game it falls apart, or can we rise to the biggest occasion of this save? We're keeping an eye on Vissel Kobe in the J1 League, but for now, it's Watanabe at the back to Mitoma. Gives away possession, of course, the man who's come in because of injury, and he gives them a chance straight away. Gaia away down the left, puts the ball in, cleared by Asada, good defending. Only as far as Al-Ahli though, just wide of the post. Where did that come from? Big opportunity already, as we return for a Bergson goal kick, which is long towards Iraqi. Why are you not aiming for the target man there? Ferraz gets in to Al-Ahli, who looks the star of the show already, and he scored the goal. The clean sheet run is ending. Oh, he's a good player, isn't he? Good on the ball, great first touch, good passing range. And it's 1-0 to Al-Ahli. The clean sheets are gone. The level par in this tie has gone. And at the moment, for the first time, we are behind in the final. We're going to demand more with 15 gone. Not really had a chance yet at all. And not got a reaction from the boys either. As Sakaragawa finds a Shida. Heavy touch. If he was in form, we'd have one hell of a chance. But he's just not hit the heights this year. We've had the chat about the scoring goals as well. No reaction at all. As Al-Ahli into the box to Ferraz, it's game over. We're going to VAR, but I think it was on. We're going to check it. Please let it be offside. It's not. It's goal awarded. It's 2-0. And while we expected this when the game was drawn, when we knew we were facing Saudi opposition, it is devastating. It's 2 goals from 2 shots on target. We're going to berate the lads with half an hour gone. We've had nothing from them. And it is just the worst time for our attacking players to go out of form. The only ones that are in form are Kato, who's cup-tied, and Suzuki, who we had to have on in case of penalties at the end. And he's 32. He's done too much work. He's not fit enough to play the whole game. So at half-time, we're going to make some big calls. Suzuki will replace Sakaragawa. We're going to take Yasuda off for the experience of Hainan, even though he's not fully fit. We're going to take Mitoma off, switch leader over, and bring Kostic on. And I think we're going to leave it at those 3 for now, because the rest of the backups really do weaken us. So into the second half, we're 2-0 down. We're going to need a miracle for this. And at the moment, I don't see where the goals come from. And it's a free kick for our host. We're 10 gone in the second half. It's looking pretty comfortable now, as Watanabe loses the header in midfield. It's away to Al-Ahli on the right. Chance to cross. There's men in there. Oh, it's shocking defending. Heung-min Son taps in for his 34th goal of the season. But look at the mistake. We've had a Mitoma mistake. We've now got an Asada mistake. These are the people that are in because of injuries. We just don't have the squad depth. And this is why I was so frustrated by our director of football in the window. They've had 3 shots on target and scored 3 goals. We've gifted them opportunities. And it's those players who really shouldn't be near this first team that have ended up costing us. If we'd had Wader in, would it have been the same if we'd had Handa in? I don't know. Araki is going to be replaced by Agawa, I think. I don't really know what else we can do. I'm going to take Asada off for Toyota just to get the youngster a run out because this game's gone now. And it's a devastating way to finish what has been an unbelievable run. We're going to narrowly miss out on a big trophy in Japan again. And all focus will go back to the league. But what a way to do it. They've not carved us open. They've not dominated. But we've gifted them a few too many great chances in this game. As Son puts a free kick over. It's another case of what could have been. If those star target men were fit. If our best centre-half was fit. And if our right wing-back today was actually a right wing-back. 3-0 to Al-Ahli. We're going to watch the Saudi side lift the trophy. I think we've just seen why the tournament is split between East and West all the way to the final, aren't we? Because we're just not strong enough for that. Some absolute world superstars in that team, personified by Son getting the last goal. But the rock-solid performances to avoid conceding from the likes of Van Dijk and Bilal. I mean, at Al-Ahli, the Saudi side will lift the Asian Champions League. And we watch on at a cruel defeat. As I said at the start, it's some achievement to be here at this stage of our career. Within 5 years, we've got to a Champions League final, a continental final. But it doesn't make it any less frustrating on the day. Injuries have definitely played their part here. But ultimately, the squad depth isn't good enough. And the director of football, you've got to take the hit for that from the winter. Let's go and have a look through the dressing room. We'll go and have a look at the job centre as well. Because we've got to the stage now where we've taken this side as far as we can go. We stuck with them for the final. And while I do think we've got an outside chance at the league if we keep most people fit, it's not something that I can see improving unless we have a great window. So with the European summer coming up now, I'm going to start looking for jobs as well. Let's go and have a quick look at what's available already, what's insecure at the moment. And then we'll also have a look at the schedule to see when we're going to be back with Kashima Antlers. Well, we've bought 1.6 million into the club for reaching that final, so they can't complain at us as we've put them back on an even financial footing there. But let's have a look at what jobs are up and what jobs might be coming up soon and see what might suit us. Because, as we've mentioned before, I'm kind of looking for those jobs where we can either play in a middling league and get European football, or one of the bigger leagues where we've got a club where we can maybe slightly overachieve and attract a major club's attention. So I'm looking immediately here and thinking, well, if we're going to have to go back to England, Blackburn's not a bad job, but the Championship can be ruthless. Do I want to get stuck in there? The one that's really standing out to me, if I'm being honest, is AEK Athens, because they're fourth in the Super League. They've qualified, as you can see, for the Conference League. They must have a 3-star reputation. 3.5, that might make it trickier. They've got an experienced Emil Ordero in goal. They've got a star player in Agume, who Twitch followers may recognise. We had him at Rangers last year over there. And we've also got a media prediction of first there. They've finished in the top 2 all of the 5 previous years. And they've got some really decent players in that team. Yes, a couple that are over the hill, but quite a lot that are still pretty good. That is a job I feel we have to go for, but 3.5-star reputation is big. I'm not sure we get that. We have completed our Continental B licence. We've now got a 3-star reputation ourselves. But to get a big job, it's got to be something like that, where Europe can then appeal to us. The other teams, we're looking at Serie B, Eredivisie 17th. They must have been relegated. Well, they might be relegated. So if NAC Breda stay up, I might well end up applying for that one, because that's the sort of job where we can progress with a club in a big nation. And then further up, there's not really much at the minute that stands out. And under that, it's just English and Japanese jobs and a couple in the MLS. So no real big step ups. We have a look at the security just to see any precarious or really insecure jobs. There's only 3 at the minute. Chelsea we won't be able to get. Hacken, they're struggling in the league, so it might be a relegation problem. Young Boys could be an interesting one because they're a side in Switzerland that would expect to get European football. But I think at the moment, looking at that, AEK is definitely one we apply for. And NAC Breda, maybe, if they manage to stay up in the end. So that job application is received, but let's go and have a look at the schedule. 3 games without a goal. Lots of clean sheets in that time as well, though. Let's have a look at when we return. And I think we have to probably aim for late June because unless we get a job offer, we've got big games against the likes of Vissel Kobe, Shimizu, and Yokohama FM, all of whom are expected to be in that continental or title race this year. So that's when we're going to return for two of those three games at the end of June, unless we get a job offer between now and then. If you want to find out the answer and you did enjoy this one, as we were eventually humbled in the Asian Champions League final, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments if you think it's the right decision to move on now. There's just no sign that the director of football is going to improve this squad wisely. He's left a budget of 4 million and huge wages in there and not got me the squad I need to compete in the last window. And that has directly cost us in the final because a couple of injuries and we wilted. And the players that came in, the players who shouldn't have been near the first team, they're the ones that made the mistakes for most of the goals. It really is a bit of a sad time. It's then cost us in the league as well. The overriding feeling is still immense pride at the effort. To get to a Champions League final within 5 years of our career starting is incredible. If you want to stay up to date and find out what the next chapter brings, will it be more disappointment, maybe some glory at Kashima Antlers, or frustration with the club as we look to move on? And please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back in a couple of days' time to find out if we're back for 2 fixtures or whether it's for job interviews and maybe a bit of a move. In the meantime, though, we'll be back with Southend United tomorrow. We're going to finish our season there, which will be plenty of fun. There's also a live stream tonight on Twitch, which you can find in the eye above. And of course, there's also links to the football podcast as well. Thank you for the incredible support there with all the festive predictions. And come and get your thoughts in the comments as well. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you all had a great Christmas break. But for now, we're back in the action with a head coach. Unfortunately, we missed out on a trophy again. We'll see you next time to find out if we've got a chance at a new job.